Hi, sorry.
Hey, Brianna.
Hi, sorry. It wasn't working because I was logged into Clubhouse, so it was like not letting me do
Are you addicted to? Because that's how we met.
it.
And
Yeah.
I've been on Clubhouse every day, all day, 2 o'clock in the morning.
I've been trying. I weaned myself off of it this week. Last week it was more of an issue. This week, not so much, but someone asked me to join this one, so I was just kind of listening and trying to work at the same time.
I feel you, girl. We got to work too.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you joined me today. I don't know how many people are going to be on, but I definitely know that we're going to keep this stagnant in the live IG so everyone can like replay if they want to. But the purpose is to really educate everyone about what you have going on, which is, being a corporate lawyer, how important that is for especially startup business owners. Working with women entrepreneurs, I know that it's been a big topic when it comes to how do I start my business with a entity, like which entity do I choose. Trademarking is something that you specify, like you specifically work on, so I know that that's really important to keep the intellectual property of the business very secure. So just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are, and then talk about the goods.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Brianna Phillips. I am a licensed attorney in California. I own my own virtual law practice where I help business owners protect their business through contracts, trademarks, and copyrights. We're talking a little bit about entity structure. So I also help California residents with establishing their entity. If you are in a different state, I can kind of lead you in the right direction and kind of consult you on what to do, but you're still going to need an attorney in your state to kind of review that because some state laws are a little different. Did you have specific questions that you get like about entities or trademarks or anything like that?
Well, a lot of times people really don't know how to set up their business when it comes down to, say, they have a service-based business and they're like, well, I'm an independent business owner and I want to secure my business as far as taxes are concerned. How do I get the best, how do I get in the best tax bracket with just being a solopreneur? That's one question that I know I get a lot.
Okay, so it's going to depend on like what you're looking for in your taxes. Most people end up getting that LLC, whether they're selling things or if they have a service-based business. And that's because for an LLC, you can pick how you want to be taxed. So you can pick if you want to be taxed as a sole proprietorship, or if you want to be taxed as a partnership, or even as a small corporation. The thing that the LLC gives you is that it protects your assets from if someone sues you, they're to come and get your house. So that LLC is protecting your assets. If you have that LLC, you can pick which way you want to be taxed, and then that's best to discuss with your tax professional because that's going to depend on what you're writing off and if you can write that off there. I think the S corp gets a little bit more write-offs than the sole proprietorship. But then it just depends on your taxes, and that's a little bit more deep as far as that part. But
And I noticed that
LLC.
a lot of people are asking like how to actually set it up online. Like if I live in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida, and a lot of my clients are here. And so the biggest thing is, I'm going on sunbiz.org and I'm going to go ahead and set up my business, but then they get really, really confused on there. So do you think it's better to, do DIY and just try to figure it out? Is that something, or would you recommend going through their attorney, or do you do that as a corporate lawyer? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's best, honestly, to go through your attorney because an LLC might not be the entity that you need. You might need a partnership. Most of the time, you don't stay as a sole prop unless you're like not making that much money and you have business insurance. So definitely the attorney will lead you in the right direction. Make sure that you have all the right licenses. And then on top of that, I say that you can file that paperwork with the government. I know for ours, it's through our Secretary of State. And it's pretty easy to follow. You just put your name in there. You put where your address is. Really simple information. And that I do think that people can do on their own. No need to go to LegalZoom to do that for you, because literally what you put in there is what they're putting into the application. I do think that it is important to have the attorney to do your operating agreement. I don't think like LegalZoom and things like that give you that operating agreement unless you ask for it. And so your operating agreement is going to have all that information of how you are supposed to run your business. So even though you filed with the state, and you don't have, unless California, you're required to have an operating agreement, but it doesn't need to be in writing. But that doesn't make sense, right? Because it's like I can just make up whatever I want in my head. So it's best to go ahead and have it in writing. And then that way you can show that to your bank to show, hey, look, I am a legit company. Or if you get in trouble with something, that operating agreement will tell you how to handle it, when to handle it, and who can handle it. And if for some reason you get sued, you are not going to be subjecting yourself to liability, because you have an LLC with no operating agreement and no business bank account. You just have your regular bank account and you're operating your LLC. The court is going to laugh at you and say, haha, you're not an LLC. You're just a sole prop with an LLC entity title. But where's your operating agreement? What kind of meetings are you holding? Who's actually a member? How are you distributing funds and things like that? So definitely get an attorney for your operating agreement, because it's so much stuff that goes into it, and the ones that they give you online may not necessarily apply to your business. So definitely attorney on that operating agreement. If you're just going to file the document with the state, I think that's fine to do on most occasions. But if you get confused, just go ahead and call the attorney.
Gotcha. And that's a big thing, because I know a lot of people aren't really using a corporate lawyer. That's something that in my business, the first business I launched, I did it without any help. And well, I mean, of course I had people help me along the way, but just, when it came to the work. And I made a lot of mistakes. And I know if I would have had a corporate attorney, I would not have made those mistakes. So, and I think what a lot of people do is they may feel that it may be a little too out of their budget, or it may be something that, they may not need at that time, because they're like, well, I don't need a corporate attorney at this point because I'm just starting my business. I don't have any assets really in my business, so I don't need anybody to, I don't need to hire anyone. But what do you say to that if someone is in the beginning stages of their business and they are like, hey, like I'm starting to file for my business and I'm making decisions, I'm not sure, but, maybe should I get a corporate attorney? What do you say to that?
I say, get an attorney. It's a tax write-off. You're going to pay for it right there out of your pocket, and you're going to feel so sad at that moment. But then when your taxes come around, you're writing it off. I say that because a lot of times you can get an attorney just to do a strategy with you. Even if you're not hiring them to be your attorney, you can say, hey, this is what I have. And this is where I'm thinking about going. With a lot of attorneys have what they call like strategy sessions, or other types of consultations for small businesses where you're only paying like $300, $400 to have this talk, just to kind of get everything reviewed. So if you are a do-it-yourself type of person, at least have it reviewed by the attorney, and that will save you a little bit of money. But it also gives the attorney time to catch it before you start getting too deep into doing something wrong. A lot of attorneys are also starting subscription plans, so that they're charging lower costs for startups, just so that people are setting up their businesses right in the beginning at a lower cost. So you can't say, hey, I don't have enough money. A lot of attorneys are doing subscription plans starting at $300, $400 a month, and to have an attorney there to answer your questions. Of course, the services may be a little limited depending on which package you get, but at least you have someone there that's like leading you in the right direction, and you're not just going wild on Google or YouTube or anything like that. So yeah, I would say look into those strategy sessions. Even if you're not hiring an attorney outright to pay them hourly fees, look for attorneys with strategy sessions where they'll talk to you for an hour or two to help to see where your business is going, or try to find an attorney with a subscription plan.
That's amazing. And then we had a question from someone. It says, I have an LLC and got my EIN from IRS. What else do I need to do? I've been in business since June.
There is something called the DUNS number. You want to get that for your credit, for your business. LLC, like I said, if you don't have an operating agreement, I suggest getting with an attorney and going ahead and getting that operating agreement. Depending on what state you are and what county you're in, you may need a business license. So depending on if you're doing special things, you might need a special business license. That's usually like if you're selling tobacco or alcohol or something like that, you're going to need a special license. If you're just selling simple things like clothing and things like that, you'll get a general business license, but you need to check with your county and see what's required in that county. Another thing I like to tell people to do is get a business insurance, because even though you might have all this money in your business, or you might have all this money in your regular life, you don't want people suing you for that. Okay, so
Right.
go ahead and get insurance, pay $100 and something a month for insurance, and if someone sues you for $150,000, the insurance company pays them, and you pay out probably what, a $5,000 deductible versus paying the full $150,000.
Wow. Wow. And then if they're in financial services, I know this particular individual. Hey, Kingdom Finances, how you doing? I see you're in here learning, and I'm so glad that you joined us. She's saying that she's in Michigan and she's in financial services. So, is there any feedback we can give to her about her business with regards to that?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly Michigan laws because I am in California, but for the most part, I think you already have your LLC, so that's good. And then all of those things still